What's up, folks? Nate here at Tool Dyno Works. Today on our dyno, I've got our 2026 Kawasaki ZX10R, and we're doing some air filter testing. The marketing departments at aftermarket air filter manufacturers have done an incredible job of convincing people that if they replace the OEM air filter on their bikes, that they'll get more horsepower to the ground by improving airflow through the engine. And with many modern motorcycles, including this one, that simply isn't the case. In fact, almost every aftermarket air filter manufacturer will never actually show you a dyno graph with a performance improvement for any motorcycle with one of their filters installed, because they know what I'm about to tell you. What they like to advertise is increased CFM, so cubic feet per minute, with their air filter over the stock filter. And that's technically true, but it does not translate to more power to the tire in most modern bikes. If the air filter in something like one of these new ZX10s is capable of flowing, let's say 250 CFM, for just round made up numbers, and you go ahead and put in an aftermarket air filter that'll flow 350 CFM, that's great. But the engine isn't demanding more than 250 CFM. So it doesn't matter if you replace the air filter with something that flows more air, if the engine doesn't need to suck in more air. Now, the single most accurate way to determine if an air filter is actually posing a restriction, so if it's capable of flowing, say, 250 CFM, but the engine actually really wants to be able to flow like 260 or 270, is simply remove the air filter from the equation. If you remove any sort of alleged restriction and you run it on the dyno, you should see more horsepower because you'll have more airflow than you did previously. And that's exactly what we did here. And the same test I actually do on pretty much every other modern motorcycle that we offer our tuning support for, because I obviously have a vested interest in knowing if air filters are worth replacing on these bikes. Now, to be able to accurately make this comparison, you guys obviously need to know how much power the bike makes with the air filter installed first. So let's quickly just recap what we've done to this bike thus far, and what I've already covered in great detail in our prior videos. The red line there is the bike in 100% bone stock trim when we were done breaking it in on our dyno. It made 175 horsepower, 81 pound-feet of torque, and the power curve falls off a cliff after 11,500 RPM. The blue lines are with our custom ECU mapping in place and no physical changes made to the bike whatsoever. You obviously have massive improvements out there at the top end, but the huge majority of the benefits that our custom tuning provides is not something that you can show or see on a dyno graph. So if you have not watched our prior testing and tuning videos, definitely go watch them, because the improvements are enormous everywhere outside of wide open throttle. Now, as I showed you in our last video, the green line is with an M4 Cat Delete exhaust system installed on our bike. Specifically, that is the M4 Tech 1. The bike now makes just under 195 horsepower and 82 2/3 of a pound-foot of torque to the tire on pump gas with our custom ECU mapping now optimized for the airflow characteristics of that system. So that is the number that we are comparing not having the air filter to in this bike. So with no other changes made whatsoever to the bike behind me, other than pulling the air filter out of the airbox, here's what you get. Absolutely nothing. Not even a tenth of a horsepower improvement or a tenth of a pony anywhere throughout the entirety of the rev range. In fact, the best run I could get today, which is the exact same run conditions as yesterday when it comes to barometric pressure and humidity, is about 2/10 of a pony less. And that's just standard run-to-run variance. When an air filter actually poses a restriction on any bike and you remove it from the equation, you'll see an airflow improvement somewhere, usually out there at the top end. But in this case, there's absolutely no change. So per that very cut and dry test done in exact same conditions back to back here on our dyno, the air filter is absolutely not worth replacing. But as I've mentioned previously, there is one variable that you cannot replicate accurately on a dyno, and that's ram air. And this bike absolutely has a ram air intake. And while there's no way for me to show you on a dyno the impact that ram air has on one of these motorcycles, I've actually ran these bikes more times than I can count, including my 6th gen that I raced a couple seasons ago, with a data logger installed to go ahead and take a look at fueling in the real world while you're on a racetrack. So, what I can tell you from my own personal experience, having tried several different air filters on these bikes, because I was just curious when I still have my 6th gen, there is actually some sort of difference, above about 160 mile an hour, if you replace the OEM air filter with something like a high quality filter from DNA, for example. but it is incredibly small, which is why you can't see it when you're doing a static test just sitting here on the dyno. It only starts to make any impact whatsoever above like 160 down the straightaway. And by any impact, I mean a really, really tiny one. I actually thought it was just run-to-run variance when I was out there on the track, so I swapped them back and forth a couple times just to play around with this a couple seasons ago. And somewhere around 160, or really right about 160, we would see like a 0.1 AFR change, where it would start to lean out just a little bit. And by about 180, which is pretty much where I'm out of room at any track around here and have to get on the brakes for whatever turn I'm going into, it would get out to like 0.15 of an AFR leaner than the stock filter. So is there something to be had way out there at those speeds? Sure. Is it anything significant that you're going to feel the vast majority of the time you're riding this bike? Absolutely not. Now, the real reason I wanted to make this video and share this data with you guys and be as absolutely 100% honest and transparent as I possibly can be is that every single year here at Tool Dyno Works, we see, without fail, several sport bikes roll through, like ZX10s or R1s or Gixxers or CBRs, whatever they are, with absolutely hammered top ends. And the common denominator every single time is that they've got some sort of aftermarket air filter that's supposed to dramatically improve airflow through the engine, and ultimately that comes at a significant cost when you're talking about actual filtration that's occurring between the intake tract and the throttle bodies themselves. In all of those countless top end failures that I've personally seen here at Tool Dyno Works over the years, every single time the intake is completely coated with dust and dirt because it's sucked past that higher flowing air filter. So, when you're making your own decision on whether or not to replace the air filter on something like your new 7th Gen ZX10, just think really hard about it, because statically without ram air, there's zero improvement. At incredibly high speeds, above 160 mile an hour with ram air, there's some very small, hard to even measure change to airflow, but all of that comes at a really big cost when you're talking about the overall longevity and health of the engine. Now, there are certainly other modifications you can make to the intakes on these bikes to improve performance in some way. And the most popular way to do that is with aftermarket velocity stacks. But that is a very lengthy discussion for a different video. Because there's several different aftermarket velocity stack designs out there for these bikes, and they all change the shape of the power curve in different ways. And some are better than others. So we'll be certain to cover all of that for you in an upcoming video, but it's just not something that we're going to have time to share with you guys today. But in the meantime, if you're looking for the highest quality intake and exhaust specific tuning available on the market for these bikes, look no further than ToolDynoWorks.com. Our mail and ECU flashing service is available for these new 7th gens for $349.99. And if you have any questions whatsoever about different intakes, different exhaust systems, whatever it is about these bikes, do not hesitate to email us at support@ToolDynoWorks.com. I'm the guy that personally answers any and all tech support questions every single day we're open here at the shop, and both myself and all of my staff are always truly happy to help.